Come on. Darren. What? Is your man not out of the bathroom yet? I'm away to work here as soon as Mo arrives.
What are you building today, Dad?
Building a wall.
What kind of wall?
A peace wall.
What's a peace wall?
It's a big 12-foot high wall between them and us to keep the peace.
Does it?
Keep the peace? I don't know.
How does it do it?
It's just a wall, son.
How do you build a wall?
With bricks. Is your mummy not out yet? Give her a shirt there.
Mummy! Daddy wants a toilet! What?
What?
Dunno. So why do you have to build a peace wall again?
Because once upon a time there was a war and themans and ussens couldn't get on. So they built these walls to keep ussens safe.
Is there still a war?
No, son, it's peace now. Been peace for near 20 years. Twice your lifetime.
That's brilliant.
Give your man our shirt there, I'm busting.
So if there's no war, why are you building the wall?
Give her a shout.
What's a peace wall to do when there's no war?
I don't know. Suppose people like the idea of them. They paint them up dead nice with murals about all the peace we're having. and they bring the tourists.
How many are there?
Some are just fences, but I think there's maybe 40, 60, 80 maybe.
How many is 60?
60 is... go and get on ye. Ballybeg, Burnfoot, King's Head, White Plains, Fairhill, Dunboy, Greenbank.
I'll take that. It's only a catalogue of names.
I know what it is.
Mistake. My mistake. Nothing to do with us. Hope that's strong enough. Jimmy. Wake up, Jimmy. Wake up, man. Here, drink this. Then you go on away home. There may be trouble. Do you hear me, Jimmy? There may be trouble.
We must learn those names.
Did you see a sack lying about?
We must learn where we live. We must learn to make them our own. We must make them our new home.
I know where I live.
James thinks he knows too. I look at James and three thoughts occur to me. A, that it is not the literal past, the facts of history that shape us, but images of the past embodied in language. James has ceased to make that discrimination.
Don't lecture me, Father.
B, we must never cease renewing those images, because once we do, we fossilise. Is there no soda bread?
And C, Father, one single unalterable fact. If Yolland is not found, we are all going to be evicted. Lancy has issued the order.
Dictum imperatoris.
You should change out of those wet clothes. I've got to go. I've got to see Dolty Dan Dolty.
What about?
I'll be back soon.
Take care, Owen. To remember everything is a form of madness. The road to Sligo. Spring morning, 1798. Going into battle. Do you remember, James? Two young gallants with pikes across their shoulders and the Aeneid in their pockets. Everything seemed to find definition that spring. A congruence, a miraculous matching of hope and past and present and possibility. Striding across the fresh green land, the rhythms of perception heightened, the whole enterprise of consciousness accelerated. We were gods that morning, James. And I had recently married my goddess, Kathleen Dove Rachting. May she rest in peace. And to leave her and my infant son in his cradle, that was heroic too. By God, sir, we were magnificent. We marched as far as, where was it? Glenties. All of 23 miles in one day. And it was there in Phelan's pub that we got homesick for Athens, just like Ulysses. The desiderium nostrorum, the need for our own. Our pietas, James, was for older, quieter things. And that was the longest 23 miles back I ever made. My friend, confusion is not an ignoble condition. The tools that are available to the playwright to tell his story are few enough. Words, action, silence. In the theatre that has engaged me, words are at the very core of it all. The same words that are available to the novelist, to the poet, and used with the same precision and with the same scrupulous attention not only to the exact kernel meaning, but to all those elusive meanings that every word holds. But there is a difference. The playwright's words aren't written for solitary engagement. They are written for public utterance. They are used, as a storyteller uses them, to hold an audience in his embrace and within that vocal sound. So unlike the words of the novelist or poet, the playwright's words are scored for a very different context. And for that reason, they are scored in altogether different keys and in altogether different tempi. And it is this score that the playwright and the actor privately plot to work their public spell. But even though these written words aren't fully empowered until the actor liberates them and fulfills them, when that happens, and if the playwright is in full mastery of his craft, then that theatrical language acquires its own special joy and delight. Because what is written to be sung is now being sung. So that the language in its meticulous use and in its accomplished utterance finally and fully realizes itself. So that what the playwright wrote, and even as he wrote, listened closely to and actually heard, has now been transferred to the stage, and those words written in privacy and out of privacy, but for public utterance, are now fulfilling themselves completely. There's no contradiction in this. It is a contrived miracle, well, a trick of the trade, because the public utterance must still retain that private intimacy where it has its origins. And even though the audience hears what it calls speeches, it hears too the author's private voice, that intimate language, that personal utterance. And that composite, that duet, the private and intimate set free into public canticle where both voices are distinctly audible, that is what makes the experience unique. And every time that happens, the theatre fulfills itself again. Brian Friel.